Hello world, I'm Mandy Mundo and welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is the one that I've been dreading making because it's going over the cost of my Maldives trip. Full disclosure, this was the most expensive trip that we've ever been on, by far. Full disclosure again, I do not care. When the past year has definitely ruined a lot of our travel plans and we weren't able to go as many places as we normally do, I decided to go all out for this trip. It doesn't have to be this way though, you can definitely go to the Maldives cheaper than I did, but I decided to just make this trip super special and I wanted to do whatever we had on our to-do list. So alas, this is the cost of my Maldives trip. So first off, we stayed in the Maldives for 7 nights. So 7 days and 7 nights. I felt it was just a good amount of time to have for our trip. The first cost is our actual airfare. So we flew on Condor Airlines. It's kind of a budget airline. And I noticed that it was cheaper if you left on a Tuesday as opposed to their Saturday flight because they only have 2 flights a week. And we had a direct flight from Frankfurt to Malé. So almost $1,340 for that cost. The next item was the actual seaplane transfer. So this was required, and depending on how far away your resort was, you either had to do a speedboat transfer or a seaplane transfer. So it was quite expensive. It was $680 for both. So next up is lodging. We stayed at the Veligandu Island Resort and Spa. I looked at booking.com as well as the Veligandu website itself, and booking.com was cheaper by about $700 or so. We chose an over-the-water villa with jacuzzi tub and went ahead and got the all-inclusive package. We were originally going to stay 6 nights, but then I read that if you stay 7 nights, your COVID test is covered on the way back. So I figured instead of spending $300 on a COVID test, let's spend that and a little bit more to stay an extra night in the Maldives. And there was a large amount in tax, so 23% just for taxes, as well as a city tax, so a per person per night tax. So there's the cost of those. We parked at the airport, so for staying our car at the airport for 1 week, it was almost $80, and we parked right at the terminal, so it was a quick walk to the actual terminal. And then for doggy daycare, so we had to put our dog in boarding for 12 days. We like to drop him off early and pick him up after we've already rested for a bit from our trips, so that's why it was a lot longer that he was there. Much cheaper than in the States anyway. And then Condor Airlines, even though it's a budget airline, we thought that the wine would be included, and it wasn't. So Jeremy got a glass of wine with his dinner. So that ended up costing us about $7 when normally it's free on international flights. And of course I had to get my souvenirs. So at the resort itself, I got a dress, a couple of bowls, a magnet. We always get a magnet. And then I got 3 bars of soap. So that was the actual gift shop at the resort. And then the souvenirs at the airport on the way back, I got a Maldives flag, and then I love chocolate, so I got some chocolate bars that were flavored like banana or mango flavored for myself and for other people. And then our lunches, so these are both our lunch at the Frankfurt airport as well as our lunch at the Malé airport coming back, and the cost for those. So had a bratwurst and a rice bowl on the way there, and then on the way back had a couple sandwiches and fries and a couple of drinks. So now on to the actual activities at the resort. I got myself a massage just by myself. Jeremy didn't get a massage, so almost $100 for that. We did a 1-hour jet ski tour, so kind of pricey, a couple $100, and that was just per tour, not per person. So it was going to be $200 whether I went or not, but both of us did get to go. We did a cooking class, and I only paid for one just for myself because Jeremy didn't want to do it, but then we ended up having enough food that we made that Jeremy got to eat lunch with me too, so $55 for that. And then a 3-hour fishing excursion. This was the most expensive excursion we did, and unfortunately it was like the least amount of fun because we didn't catch anything. So looking back on it now, I probably wouldn't have done this one knowing we weren't going to catch anything. I did a private manta turtle snorkel tour, so nobody else signed up with me, which is why it costs the $96. If more people would have signed up, it would have been like $70 or $60, so that's why it cost that much for me. And then I had my own snorkel, but I didn't have fins, so I did have to rent fins from the aquatic center. So I rented them for 3 days, so about $22 for rental. I think I should invest in some fins when I do a trip like this again. And then the best excursion, I think, was the whale shark excursion, and it was our second cheapest one. Only I went, Jeremy didn't want to go, and there were 7 people on that excursion, which is why it cost cheaper. If only one person went, it would have been like $1,000. So in total, we spent $7,700 on this trip. Again, very, very expensive, but if you did it and you didn't stay at an over-the-water villa or you didn't do as much excursions as we did, then it probably wouldn't have cost as much for you. So just think of that, keep that in mind, that even though it was expensive for us, it doesn't have to be that way. So next I wanted to do a price comparison with the all-inclusive package on whether or not it was worth it, basically. So we ended up paying about $874 for the all-inclusive package. If we would have only got full board, it would have been about $3,200 for our room. So let's look at the items that we got out of it. Included was a dolphin cruise at sunset, and that was great because we saw a lot of dolphins. So we would have normally had to pay $78 for that, but that was included. We also got a windsurfing lesson, something we wouldn't have normally done, but because it was included, it was just a half an hour quick lesson, so that would have cost about $40, but we got it included in the package. And we don't normally drink champagne, but because it was included, we went ahead and partake in some champagne. So that would have been $55. We ended up eating at the a la carte restaurant because if you stayed at least 5 nights, you got a dinner there for free included. And it was a set menu, so I couldn't look up the prices of it, so I just had to guess based on the other entrees that were listed. So about $100 that we would have had to pay. We ate some snacks in the room, so the little mini bar section, so 3 Pringles and a thing of peanuts. That, again, we wouldn't have normally eaten these, but because they were included, it was nice to have it in the afternoon before dinner. And then the snacks at the bar at the pool, if you were hungry in between meals, you could have gotten a lot of snacks in the all-inclusive package. So one day we got a pizza and some egg rolls, so that was $13. And then something we definitely would have done without the all-inclusive package is the alcohol. So the cocktails and the beer and the wine, I totaled it all up and we ended up drinking about $400 worth of alcohol. The prices were pretty pricey though, like a cocktail was $9. So you can guess who drank the majority of that, but that was about $400. So in total, we drank or ate or did about $695 worth of stuff, but we paid $874 for the all-inclusive package. So we didn't end up doing enough to equal the all-inclusive package, but again, that's not why we did it. We did it more for the peace of mind to not have to worry about it. Like you're ordering a cocktail at the bar, or hey, you want a snack, and you don't have to worry about it. So that was the main reason for it. And that was our Maldives trip. So again, it was pricey, but I think it was totally worth it, especially when we haven't traveled as much this past year, had some money saved up, so could definitely splurge. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend going to the Maldives for anyone.